Hey Navajo Nighthawks, here we are with Module 3, Lesson 32. Our objective for this lesson is I will be able to interpret and find whole number quotients and remainders to solve one-step division word problems with larger divisors of 6, 7, 8, and 9. So what that means is we are going to continue to work with those word problems like we've been doing, but instead of having 1, 2, 3, or 4 as our divisor, we're going to work with those larger numbers to divide, okay? And we're still working with word problems, but it's one-step word problems, so we won't have to do multiple steps like we've had to do in the past. And you can continue to use a tape diagram if you want to represent your problem, which I will show you what that looks like today. All right, so our first problem is, we know that there are 7 days in a week. How many weeks are in 259 days? So if we know that we're going to be working with 259 days, and we know that there are 7 days in 1 week, how many weeks are in 259 days? That's what we're trying to figure out, okay? So if we're trying to figure out how many groups of 7 can I make out of 259, then that means we're going to take 259 and divide it by 7. So it's going to look like this. 259 divided by 7. So something that you will see more often when we have larger numbers to divide with, we're not going to be able to divide into that first digit like we normally do. So we're going to have to look at the first 2 together. So instead of 2 divided by 7, we're going to look at this as 25 divided by 7. And also with the larger numbers, you may want to skip count up a ways, just so you have that ready when you're ready, or just use your basic multiplication facts too will help you, okay? So if we skip count, we can go 7, 14, 21, 28, 35. So you go up, 4 or 5, and then if you need to go up more later, you always can, okay? So 25 divided by 7, well, 1, 2, 3 groups is 21, 4 is 28, so that's too many. So I'm going to go 3 groups, so 7 times 3 gives me 21. Then I subtract, 5 minus 1 leaves me with 4. Bring down my 9. 49. So now I need to repeat my steps with 49. How many groups of 7? 49 divided by 7. How many groups of 7 can I make out of 49? So let's go up a little bit more. So 35, 42, 49. So now we know we can make an exact 49. So we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 groups. 7 times 7 is 49. So if we were to write our answer statement, we would say there are 37 weeks in 259 days. Okay, so I've talked a lot in our, if you have me for small groups, if we're working, it doesn't look like a 3. If we're working with word problems, I really want you guys to write your answers in an answer statement, so then that way you can make sure you are answering the question that was asked. So if we made a mistake or maybe we missed a step, then you should be able to catch that with your answer statement. Okay, so there are 37 weeks in 259 days, and the question was, how many weeks are in 259 days? So we can double check ourselves that way, saying, yep, we did it correctly. We found the right answer, and you can move on to the next one. All right, so our next problem is, everyone is given the same number of colored pencils in art class. If there are 249 colored pencils, and 8 students, how many pencils does each student receive? Okay, so if I'm going to show this as a tape diagram, I know that we have 249 pencils, and I know that we divided that to 8 students. So I made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 units because I know that we're dividing this between 8 students. So our tape diagram looks just a little bit different than the last one because we know how many units, but we don't know how much each unit is worth, okay? And then our division problem, so we have 249. We're dividing that between 8 students, so our divisor is going to be 8, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and skip count up here a ways. So we have that ready. So 8, 16, 24, 32, 40. Okay. So again, we can't divide into the 2. So I need to look at this as 24. So 1, 2, 3 groups is equal to 24. So 24 divided by 8 is 3. 8 times 3, 24. We subtract, leaves me with 0, and then I bring down my 9. 8 can go into 9 how many times? Well, 2 groups is 16, 1 is 8, so we're going to do 1. 8 times 1 is 8. We subtract, we're going to have 1 left over. So our answer statement says, our question is, how many pencils does each student receive? We're not going to say 31 remainder 1 because each of these units will be equal to 31 and we'll have that remainder 1 off of here to the side. So for our answer statement, we're going to say each student will get 31 pencils. There will be 1 left over. So when we have a word problem and we have a remainder, depending on what it's asking, what we're talking about, I can't take that 1 pencil and divide it between 8 students. So each student will get 31 pencils and there will be 1 left over. That's our remainder. Okay. All right, let's do one more. All right, so our last problem for today says Mr. Hughes has 155 meters of volleyball netting. How many nets can he make if each court requires 9 meters of netting? So again, like our first problem, we know how much we're working with. We have 155 meters. Okay, and we know that each net is going to be equal to 9 meters, and we're trying to figure out how many nets can we make. So we don't know how many units we will have, but we know that each unit needs to be worth 9. Okay, just a visual. So our division problem will be 155 as our dividend divided by 9, which is our divisor. Okay, so I'm going to set up my skip counting up top. So we've got 9, 18, 27. I don't know if we'll have to go above that. We kind of look at our numbers here. Yeah, we probably will. 36. We'll go to 36. Okay, so now we can divide. Well, again, I can't divide into 1, so I need to look at this as 15. Okay, 2 groups is 18. That's too many. So I'm going to be able to do 1 group of 9. 9 times 1 gives us 9. We subtract. We're going to have to borrow. That becoming 0, our 5 becoming 15. So that's going to leave us with 6. We'll bring down our 5. We're going to have to skip count a little bit more. And now we have 65. So how many groups of 9 can I make out of 65? Well, if I keep skip counting, or you can use your basic facts. Okay, so 36, 45, 54. 9s are kind of harder to skip count by. 63 and 72. Nope. No, that was right. 72. Okay. So if I have 65, I know that 72 is too many. 73. Okay, making sure my skip counting is right. Nope, 72. Goodness sakes. Okay, there we go. So 72 is too many. 63 is just under it. So we know we're going to make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 groups. And 9 times 7 is 63. Okay, and then we can subtract. 5 minus 3 is 2. Remainder 2. So just like the last one, I'm not going to say they can make 17 remainder 2 nets. We're going to say they will have enough for Mr. Hughes can make 17 nets, but I want you to put your remainder in there so I know that you got that as part of your answer. So if you just say, Mr. Hughes can make 17 nets, I'm not going to know if you got your remainder or not. So we want to say Mr. Hughes can make 17 nets, and there will be 2 meters. So that was our unit, meters of netting. There will be 2 meters left over. So then I know I can read this as 17 remainder 2 as your final quotient. Okay? All right. So as you work through this ed puzzle, please, please, please work it out on paper. Do not just look at the problem and guess. You can see how much work I'm having to do to work out a problem, and this is still just that one-step problem, so make sure you are doing that as well, okay? All right, you guys, good work today. Keep working hard. We'll keep working on this week, and we will see you soon.